Hello. Hey, everybody. Hi to everybody there in the chat. So fabulous to see you. Welcome to the members to the channel as well. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Big thank you to my mods helping out this morning. I know Nancy's here. Dip Me in Glitter is here. I'm scrolling. Who's here? Who's here? All right, everybody. Okay. So scandal after scandal after scandal. That's what we're talking about with Scientology today. Some protest news, all kinds of things. You are in the right place. I'm glad you're here. I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. We touch on my 35 years in Scientology, leaving with 3 generations of my family. And throughout the week, I do interviews. So when you hit the subscribe button, make sure you check the notification bell as well so you get those notifications when I just pop it and go live. All right, let's talk about with something that I thought was hilarious. Blow drill, good to see you. Lots buzzing. We're going to get into it. Dylan, you better tell me what you think about a lot of this, because there is stuff, people. There is stuff. Lots of stuff going on. So let's jump over to the first video we're going to talk about, which is a funny little thing here that y'all sent me. I thought this was great. It's from Sea Org Rescue. It's really quick. Take a look at this.
Heretics, the modern science of mental doo-doo. Join us on the bridge to total slavery. Our technology will alleviate you of your common sense and emotion. You will be so empty that you will gladly hand over your money, your assets, even your children. By L. Ron Blubbard, the #1 selling book on the planet, not diuretics.
Diuretics. Did anybody else see that? I hadn't seen that. Hey, Sandy McKenna. Hey, Farrell Cheryl. Good to see you guys here. Great to see you. Farrell Cheryl, I have my body thetans right in the back there. Some of them fell over. But, you know, I let my body thetans do whatever they want to do, unlike Scientology. So, as you know, took the body thetans to, actually, I got a few of them from Farrell Cheryl, and I had so much fun with them in Clearwater. I was there protesting and also speaking out for the body thetans who should not have to just go do Scientology. Because in Florida at Flag, let me explain why that's funny. That's funny because they do the upper level auditing in Scientology, which is all about getting rid of their body thetans. All right, let's take a look at a little bit of, let's see, is this my Scientology propaganda? And I know what you're saying. What do you mean Scientology propaganda, Natalie? Scientology puts out the truth. No, they don't. We know that. That's why you're here. Okay, so this is a press release from Scientology, which you know are one of my favorite things to talk about. An evening of joy and celebration as the Church of Scientology hosts a Chand, and my apologies if I am not pronouncing this correctly, Chand Rot Festival, the night of the moon on L. Ron Hubbard Way. Okay, so here's what gets me about this. So this happened sometime in April, right? And this is their press release that they got out because these people had their own event on L. Ron Hubbard Way. They're saying there were 1,500 people there from the Los Angeles, Bangladesh community gathered on L. Ron Hubbard Way for their annual celebration. Here's the thing, though. You know, they're all blah, 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 as if like they put it on. And as far as I could tell, they lent the street, and it's a public street at that. But, you know, it's called L. Ron Hubbard Way. Okay, here's the part that just really made me go, what? Really, Scientology? And it's this part. Scientology churches and Scientologists support human rights initiatives. They are inspired by humanitarian and Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard, who believed, quote, human rights must be made a fact, not an idealistic dream, close quote. In appreciation of this legacy, Bangladesh community leaders presented a representative of the Church of Scientology with an acknowledgement of Mr. Hubbard for his respect for diversity and the rights and cultures of all people. The Church of Scientology Los Angeles is an ideal Scientology organization configured to service Scientologists in their ascent to spiritual freedom and serve as a home for the entire community, a meeting ground of cooperative effort to uplift people of all denominations. So can we just get a what the heck? on the whole human rights thing. And we know Scientology has a front group called the Citizens Commission on Human Rights and other front groups that do the same thing. They take this International Declaration of Human Rights that they say that they follow, that they promote, but as we know, they violate it on the daily, which is why they need a front group and need to position themselves as, nope, we're out here promoting human rights. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're all for it. Jean, you got it right. An entire word vomit article. Yes. And it is a press release for Scientology. That's why it is written that way. It's written that way. Corn says it's Sunday and I'm on my way to church to preach. Good for you. That is awesome. Allie's mom makes a good point. They do better propaganda than the Nazis. I think you're right. Trying to cloak themselves. Laconic. Yes, exactly that. Lily, human rights except for their staff. So true. We only see it on the daily, hear it on completely the daily, yet that is what they try to do. Now, we touched on a website yesterday, and we're going to talk about it again today. Aaron over at Growing Up in Scientology covered it and did a video, used it, and we are talking about the new website, Sptv.space, now being called Tom Cruise's most hated website. Here is the cool thing. This is a website we shared yesterday, sptv.space, created by Fluffer Squirrel UK and Z News, XE News. They did amazing work on this. You can go over and click all over it, see who's live streaming in the SPTV community. You can also go by city. Say you're going to travel and you're going to Pasadena and you want to see if anyone's live streaming there. Or maybe you're going to an area that's not on the list and you want to connect with them and let them know, hey, I'm going to be over there. I'd like to share some info. So let's take a little peek at a clip from Growing Up in Scientology, who is chatting about this.
Is not just David Miscavige. He is Tom Cruise's best friend, David Miscavige. And the new website, sptv.space, is not just a new website called sptv.space. It is Tom Cruise's most hated website, sptv.space. Is not just David Miscavige. He is Tom Cruise's best friend.
Awesome website. A lot of hard work went into that, and it is a labor of love. And I and many of us appreciate it because you can just really pop around in one place. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Let's talk about, we are going to touch on a little bit about, you know, how multi-generational Scientology families, sometimes some of them leave, they have to disconnect. Sometimes they're all in together. And often there's somebody in that family who becomes the snitch to Scientology. Maybe they volunteer with the Office of Special Affairs, which, you know, y'all know what that is, the OSA. Well, did you guys know we've been talking a lot about Rebecca Minkoff because she's filming right now for the Real Housewives of New York, and we don't know how that's going to turn out. Is she going to have a main role? What's going to be the deal? Will they bring up Scientology? If they don't bring it up on the show, do not worry, because anybody who covers Real Housewives news is going to be talking about it and raising the important questions. And before it's even aired, we already have important questions. Like, what's the deal with her brother? Learn some interesting information about her brother. I think it's Uri Minkoff is how you say it. Take a look at this, you guys. Take a look at this. Let's look at this. Okay, so this is an article from the Underground Bunker that came out a while ago, but it touches on the brother. Let's see. So this is from a story earlier about Rebecca's involvement with the Scientology front group, Drug Free World. Here we go. As for Minkoff's involvement, we spoke with Quaylen McDaniel, who we profiled earlier this year. McDaniel was a celebrity handler for the church, and Uri Minkoff, Rebecca's brother, was one of Quaylen's closest friends in Scientology. Rebecca's involvement has increased over the years, Quaylen tells us. She wasn't active until she got famous. Now the church has her deep in their pocket, but she didn't start that way. Her brother, and this is the part that is really interesting to me today, you people, listen to this. I lost my place. Her brother, Uri Minkoff, came on as her CEO. He's been a longtime spy for OSA, trying to make up the damage his dad caused the church, she says, referring to the Office of Special Affairs, the intelligence wing of the church. Quaylen had earlier produced OSA documents about her and her family submitted by Uri Minkoff, backing up her claim that he was submitting information about her, which actually all Scientologists are under pressure to do. Scientology is a snitching culture and it's deeply embedded. So we know this. So not only is this Scientologist very likely, it looks like, going to be on the Real Housewives of New York in some capacity. She's filming right now, but her brother's an OSA spy. And her father was the doctor involved with the death of Lisa McPherson, a Scientologist who Scientology took out of a hospital where she could have gotten the help she needed, ran her through L. Ron Hubbard's introspection rundown, which is total ridiculousness. And she ended up losing her life because of it. And Dr. Minkoff had to pay, I think it was like $100,000 settlement. It was a whole thing. It's going to be coming out because every time a Scientologist is in the media, what follows is the trail of Scientology scandal. So the plot thickens, my friends. Now it's like, ooh, the brother's a Scientology spy. Ooh, OSA spy, not even just Scientology spy. It's just so interesting. Scandalous. That's right, Sandy McKenna. Scandalous. It totally is. Let's take a look at, speaking of scandalous, you know, it's been all over the news this week about Suri Cruise turning 18. Will she reconnect with her father? We're like, no, that's totally not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. There is a channel over on Facebook who did a little video here, and hold on. We are going to take a look at this because it also features, I think our Aaron has a shout out in there as well, but it's talking about the situation. So it's like it's popping up all over the place. Let's take a little look at this. We're just going to look at the beginning of it. It's a 5-minute video. We're just going to give you a peek so you have a taste of it. And I'm going to put all the links down below in the description so that later you can go watch these videos.
That her keeping her mouth shut about Scientology and about Tom Cruise is part of their separation, their divorce agreement. 16, the controversial church was once again blamed for keeping Tom and Suri apart because, according to its rules, members are forbidden from associating with non-believers. Oh, I'm going to prioritize my status as a Scientologist, and I'm going to disown my daughter just because it's the right thing to do. That's on Tom. That's not on Scientology.
That is an interesting point that we kind of just touched on a little bit the other day, but then I wanted to make again. This was a choice for Tom Cruise. He would not have been forced to do anything. He is not forced to do anything. He made the choice to disconnect from his daughter, Suri, which we all now know. And I don't see her seeking him out and being like, hey, you never know though, but I doubt it. I really hope she looks into, if she doesn't already know and understand what Scientology is and the role that it's played in her family. I do really hope that she does learn about that. I do. Will says you guys should provide SOC dirt to the other housewives so that they can nail her with sass. SOC. Scientology dirt? No, I have a feeling there will be no shortage of that. I'm sure that many people, think about all the people who watch the different SPTV channels, the way they cross over onto other channels that cover entertainment. I think we are going to see a lot of that, and there's going to be no shortage of Scientology scandal coming out. Yes, indeedy. And we're going to be here for all of it. Now I'm going to show you Kelly. I'm going to have a link down below to her video as well as this document that she's sharing. I want to say, tell me in the chat if anybody knows, is Kelly from Sacramento? I think I shared a video the other day. I didn't quite know which city she was covering. And I feel like there was, and it might not be the same Kelly, but she shares some awesome, really interesting information that y'all need to be aware of and share it with anybody you're in contact with who will be protesting Scientology. This is something that I think can come in very handy. She did a video on it, and it's a form that law enforcement can use to report SWAT calls to the FBI. Let's take a little peek here at her video where she's talking about it.
This is why I like the flyer, because it's not for me to have, but it's for me to have if ever the situation arose where a SWAT call happened and I was nearby. I would then be taking this flyer and handing it to the officers or whomever to show them how they can report these. So it gives thorough details. They log into their CJIS website, which
she goes through and explains like how they do it. I'm going to include a link to the document, which I'm going to show you here. I don't think I put them down below yet, but I'm going to do that after we're done here. But you can see it here. It's swatting, help spread the word, FBI Virtual Command Center, National Common Operational Picture, swatting facilities near real-time secure information sharing for public safety during swatting incidents. It defines it. It gives the FBI response, how they can participate, training that's available for law enforcement about swatting and how to handle these calls. I think this is great. I like what Kelly said about printing it off and taking it with you when you go to protest. It'd be great to be able to share it. Or you know what would be cool? I just thought of, somebody probably already thought about this, but I think what would be cool with this is to be able to maybe have a QR code. Might be easier for streamers to keep and be able to share that goes right to the document. So if there's a swatting incident or you're speaking with law enforcement, are you aware of the reporting process with the FBI and how to do it? Oh, you're not? Here you go. Oh, and here's a link to Kelly's video too, because she will walk you through it. Oh, it's just good stuff. It's good stuff. Great information in there. So when you get a chance, check that out. And again, if you are someone who's protesting, live streaming, First Amendment auditing in front of Scientology, you probably want to be aware with this, and it's something that can be shared. Kelly did an amazing job. Great research there. I love that she shared it. Let's take a look at the NONNABOSS Audits and Investigates. She shared a video that we saw not that long ago of children going into the Kansas City organization, and is just kind of doing a reminder here. And many of you may not have seen this video, which I found to be very disturbing. You will see it and you will know why. So let's take a look at it and then let's talk about it. We've been talking a lot about this topic of children in Scientology. Children cannot consent. That is the message. They cannot consent. Check it out. The video is, I think the original video is muted, but you can see the Scientology staff member there holding open the door, because that's not, weird. Come in, children, come in. That's right. And they're going in for their Scientology indoctrination.
I highly doubt that those kids were showing up for an after-school special.
And I think I might have started it a little too late. I was trying to speed it up, but you see multiple kids going into Scientology there. And we have since found out that they all go to the same school that is, listen to this, run by Dan O'Connor, who's a Scientology staff member. And if you're familiar, if you know, you know, and if you're familiar with Relatable Reese and her Scientology experience, she shares that Dan O'Connor threw a fax machine at her after assaulting her. This man somehow runs a school in Kansas City for these kids. And reports are saying that not only that, but that he human trafficked a teenage girl who came from a family that didn't have a lot of money and resources, and put her to work in his household for room and board, taking care of his children. And she was a young teen herself. And now she's the one who's teaching these kids in the school that's run by this guy. What in the world? And these are the children. Those are the kids who go there. And there they are, just going right into the Kansas City organization run by the school run by, again, Dan O'Connor. And you guys know the story, what happened, what horrifically happened that Relatable Reese shares on her channel with this fax machine and assault from this man. Somehow he's running a school with children. And on top of it, child trafficked a young girl, made her the nanny for his household, the worker. And now she's teaching these kids. Does this girl go to school herself? Is she getting paid? I mean, we talk a lot about human trafficking happening in Scientology. Do we need to talk more about human trafficking being perpetuated by Scientologists themselves outside of the organization? Because that is very much what this looks like. And I think it needs to be looked more into. Definitely needs to be more of a deep dive. And yes, Atkinson, Texas, gross. That's right. That's right, Corn, fax machine thrower. Susan, just crazy, just crazy. I agree. How does this happen? Gamer, Dan is a serial cheating, abusive creep. Yes. Sovereign, that dude is unhinged. I would say so. So why is he being allowed to run a school? How is this happening? Tanya, so disgusting. I agree. Rally, where is CPS? Yep. I think we need to learn more about that. We need to keep an eye on it. So if you know anything more about Dan O'Connor, his school, or who this girl is, this young girl, underage girl, who has been working as a nanny for him for years and now teaching these children in this school, let me know. Let us know. Oh, you know what? Sandy McKenna. Sandy's she's going to be doing some true crime when it comes to Scientology. I think this would be a good one, Sandy, if you're interested to take a deeper dive into and look into. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. I think Sandy's still here, but let's talk about it. Okay, so there's that. There's that shenanigans. Now, the other day, Sassafras, who's one of the protesters in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, was out by L. Ron Hubbard Way. There was an event going on outside, and she came across a woman whose name is Joan Biggs, who approached her and shared that she is a former OT7. So she was on or did operating Thetan level 7 on the bridge to total freedom. And she shares a little bit about her story. And you guys, there's just more to it too. But first, let's look at this video where she meets Joan. Did I say her name right? It's Joan Biggs. And this again is on Sassafras.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I am a full-on OT7.
Oh my God, you're a former OT7?
And class 6.
Let me give you a hug.
No,
I'm going to give you
cry.
a hug. Oh my God, I'm going to hug you.
Why?
Don't cry. Don't cry.
It's taken me so long.
Oh my God, what's your name?
Joan Biggs.
Joan Biggs. Do you know Tori Magoo? Do you know Tori Chrisman?
The name is familiar.
Tori
I know-
Chrisman. She was in the Sea Org and she's about 76 years old now. She's been out
I
for...
was not Sea Org, but I was public. But I did join the Sea Org to become a non-solid.
Look, oh, Mike Rinder. So, you know, there's 125 people, you guys. Look, there's 125 people with how many years were you in the chat? These are the chat they want to know. She did leave, you guys. She's not in. She was not.
God.
Yeah.
Is it okay I'm on?
Yeah, you're fine.
I was.
Do you need help?
So she shares a little bit of her story. And I thought her name sounded familiar. And then I realized Joan years ago, and I could be wrong, but I think it was in the 80s. She got into a car accident. Her Scientologist boyfriend, who was a Scientology minister, was driving behind her and had been drinking. Joan gets into a car accident. She was in critical condition. And the Scientology boyfriend sees this and keeps going. Why? He didn't even call the ambulance. Why? Because he said that it wouldn't look good for a Scientology minister to be at the scene of an accident when he's been drinking. Of course it wouldn't look good. But this is your girlfriend, your partner, your fellow Scientologist. How about? And you just keep driving. It's one of the stories from that I remember learning about when I had left Scientology, and that 2 years where I was still under the radar as a Scientologist working a plan to get my 3 generations of my family to leave together, that I first heard about this. And I went back and did find some things in some old message board type websites and was like, wow, that's right. Allie's mom. Yes. I thought only Scientologists could help at a car accident. Yeah. Scientology minister, by the way. So think about it. All Scientology puts out all this stuff about their volunteer ministers and all their help, and how Tom Cruise is like, hey, you know what? If there's an accident, you better hope there's a Scientologist nearby, because we're the only ones that can actually help. Yeah. Unless you're leaving the scene of an accident because you're drunk driving, then you're not really helping and just leaving her there. And from the reports that I saw, he didn't even call 911. It was somebody else who called for help for her. Just disgusting. Just disgusting. That's right, neuropsych. Either they can be the only ones to help, or they run. Pick a lane. Pick a lane, Scientology. Pick a lane. Okay, yesterday off of L1 Hubbard Road, the Blue Buildings, Jessica Palmadessa, Scientology Streets, Scientology Audit Streets, LA, they were out there. There was an event. There were 2 things that sounded like they were going on yesterday. And this kind of takes us back to what I shared earlier about that Bangladesh festival. There did appear to be an event going on inside the building that was related to something to do with Bangladesh, because there was a gentleman who was having a conversation with Jessica Palmadessa saying, hey, what are you guys doing here? What is this about? And she explains why Scientology is a human trafficking cult. Let's take a look at that video and then we'll talk about it. This is from Jessica Palmadessa.
Because we just went to the place. Somebody invited us. We just came as guests.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, you gotta look it up when you get home. There, a lot of abuse goes on
Only
in
thing
there.
I know that Tom Cruise is the part of it, right?
Yeah. But the rubber people, so the people that live in this building, the ones that like actually live here, they work 110 hours a week and they get paid $47 a week, and they're just like slaves. And they sign billion-year contracts, so they think that they can't leave or anything, and they just like slave away in here. They get abused. They have like their own jail, that's like in a basement where if they do anything wrong.
City allows?
I mean, there's a lot of messed up stuff that goes on in the world. I mean, like I said, the leader is up for human trafficking charges. So
she was filling them in, and this guy had said that they rented a space. I think there was a misunderstanding that he rented a space, to sleep. And I think it was they rented or were given space within the organization to host their event. And then also later was the replaying of the opening of the Austin Scientology new building that sits empty, except when protesters are out there like Pearl Snappy yelling and reminding them about the crimes committed by the staff members behind those walls. So I do believe there's some kind of tie, because the article I shared with you, that was from like April 16th or prior. So that was not yesterday when there was that festival celebration happening on L1 Hubbard Way. That was before, but it mentions a Bangladesh community. And now we have a Bangladesh community having an event there, unaware, or at least he was unaware of what Scientology is really about. And we've seen this happen. We know this happens. Scientology has all these beautiful buildings that are completely empty. So what do? They use them in a way almost like a community center to host events for other organizations. Then they put out a press release saying that they did it, that it was them, just positioning themselves with other organizations doing things within their community. You see what they're doing? This is how this works. And I think most of the time these people are unaware that they are being used that way. Scientology is nothing but the venue. You're the venue, Scientology. The venue. Not the thing itself. You did not do that. You did not. So I thought that was interesting. And I'm really glad that she had that conversation with him and shared that, because he's going to go back and be like, hey, y'all, this is great that we get this space and all that, but these people are human traffickers. And he will hopefully go and get online and learn more about it for himself and really dig into that. Really dig into it. If anybody watching here on YouTube has ties to that community in Los Angeles and that community group, maybe reach out to them. If you know somebody in the Bangladesh community there must be an organization that they're tied to that Scientology is luring in and trying to hijack. All right, let's go over to another Scientology building with Scientology Audit Streets, LA, where somebody ordered I don't know, could have been some DoorDash, could have been some Uber Eats, could have been just some food delivery nonetheless. And what happens? We know what happens. They lock the guy out. The delivery person cannot get in, or so it seems. So we're going to look at this. We're going to talk about this. And this is from Scientology Audit Streets, LA, from William Good's stream. And he is there with Jessica Palmadessa.
They got cameras. They can see. There you go. Oh, guys, you got a delivery.
Out here for a decade. What are you doing?
You got deliveries. I forgot their names. I have the names for them.
Okay, look at the gloves. Can we just talk about the gloves for a minute? Can we talk about the gloves? What is up with the gloves? We've seen this. We saw it during the pandemic and okay, yeah, gloves, mask, okay. But it continued on with Scientology. So security comes out to get food and, it's not like he's going to be serving the food, right? Maybe then that's why you're wearing gloves. I just thought it was odd.
You better tip him after all that.
Yeah, give him a tip.
All $47. Yeah, let him in.
Let him in. Let him in. Can I come in or no? We just want to come in. What about the tour?
How long do you think he's going to be in there? He's going to be like, well, you're here.
He was in there for a little while. He was in there. And that's right. Glove tech. In the end, you know what happened? They gave him some kind of booklet, probably The Way to Happiness. I don't know if he got a tip or not. Yep, that's right. Vegan 3. They do usually tip in the app. But yeah, all $47. I know Jessica just cracks me up. God, she makes me laugh. Right, Roxy? All $47. Oh, Sandy Lee, that's an interesting theory. No fingerprints left behind. You know what? I really think that, okay, this is what I think it is. This is my opinion. So gather around for the opinion. Based on my experience in Scientology and my experience in the Sea Organization, Scientology, especially in the Sea Organization, looks down at people not in Scientology, considers them to be dirty. So you wear gloves anytime you have to interact with a member of the public. We saw some of this in other places too when it comes to Scientology. So I don't know. And I do not think that it's because of surgery. Gosh, let's hope not, right? Let's hope not. But something's going on. Exactly, Zippy. That's what I was thinking. Even the food delivery people not safe. Zippy was saying, hold on, the chat's moving fast. Zippy saying cooties. Exactly. That's what I do believe it to be. It's a really gross and disgusting mindset. And the higher you go up in Scientology, each level looks down at that next lower level. If you're in the Sea Organization, in a higher organization, you look down at the Sea Org members below you. Those Sea Org members look down at the staff members in the organizations who look down at the public that pay all the money to keep it going. And they all look down on the public in general. Because Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard said, is to help the able become more able. And what does that mean, you asked? What does that mean, Natalie? It means if you got a wallet and a pulse, you are able. We will take your money, raise your pulse by taking a lot of your money, and then you can be a Scientologist and be in Scientology. So I think that's part of what's going on. I totally think it's because of cooties, 100%. 100% because of cooties. I'm going with it. That's my opinion. Another thing Scientology did over on L. Ron Hubbard Way, because this has been going on for a while now. There's the protesters. Things are going on. Scientology calls the police. The police are like, you have a right to protest, but maybe no amplified sound. And this just all goes back and forth. And we saw something recently where Scientology has been telling the police that these protests are interrupting their religious services. And you might go, wait a minute, what religious services? Their Scientology auditing and their Scientology training, all of their indoctrination, they consider to be religious services. Now, they put on this BS Sunday service on Sundays, sometimes, not all the time, to make it look like they're a church that has a service. And that is just not the case. It's all for looks. When I was in Scientology, sometimes we got called in to attend to be, butts in a seat because some VIP or a person of influence was coming in and they wanted it to look like Scientology was all churchy and stuff. So we had to sit in those seats. So it is BS. It is more propaganda. But look at this. So as part of this ploy to put forward this religious service, that they're suddenly delivering religious services over there, they put up a sign. They actually mounted a sign. Let's take a look at this.
What they're trying to say is, from here on out, guys, religious services are. Oh yeah. No, actually, yeah. So
9 to 10.
Yeah.
They just split it up like ridiculous.
Yeah, 9 to 10. These guys are getting every cigarette they can. Oh, that's right. Elron says you're allowed to smoke. You need to smoke cigarettes. Where did everybody else go, guys?
So the sign's basically like, our religious services are from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then, the public, not the staff, the public have an hour there for lunch. And then it goes from 1 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then they have dinner. And then from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So this is Scientology's way of saying, hey, we're doing religious things. Don't be making all that noise. And we know they're not. You know what their religious things are? Getting on the phone, having people in front of them, and taking money out of their bank accounts. That's what they're doing. Abusing the staff, putting ridiculous amounts of pressure on Sea Org members, elder abuse, human trafficking. These are not religious activities. But they're going to call it that. Now they have a sign, and I thought it was interesting. So there you go. Okay, later in the day, right? Protesters are there. Things are moving. William Good's there. Jessica Palmadessa is there. Other people. DOA pulls up in the van. This is later in the evening. You can kind of see the sun setting. It's actually quite beautiful. And Jessica and William were out there. And then DOA rolls up in his Scientology is a cult van, which I just absolutely love more than anything. I mean, look at it. How do you not love it? Then on the back, he's got the SPTV logo, and it even says Es una secta on there for the Spanish-speaking population. Let's take a look at this. And DOA is yelling from his van, how can you save the world if you can't save the children? That's my favorite. This ain't North Korea.
Join in. The Church of Scientology is a cult. The Aftermath Foundation and the SPTV Foundation have volunteers more than willing to help you lead.
Love that. He pulls off. Jacob Harkey just jumps in. And if you're not already following DOA or Jacob Harkey, I'm sure you guys are already following and subbing to William Good's channel and Jessica Palmadessa. Be sure to check them all out because they're doing a great job out there. All right, let's see here. Just a Northern Girl says, Chris noted those quiet signs out yesterday afternoon while their music was blaring so loud he couldn't even hear himself think. So let me get this right. This is what we're seeing. Scientology is putting up signs saying we're delivering religious services. Shh. Like me, if you caught my live stream when I was in Clearwater and we were in the library to get an above ground look at the Sandcastle building and the Sea Org members running out, we're in there and Aaron and Kelly are just talking loud and I'm all, shh, we're in the library. That's what they're trying to do. Meanwhile, Scientology's blaring music, irritating their neighbors. Oh, I would hate to be a Sea Org member and have to hear those songs on repeat, especially the Scientologist songs, because that's what they do. over and over and over and over and over again. All right. I want to say Tiff45, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Hip, hip, hooray. I appreciate that so much. Eclectic Jen is saying that was last night. Streets, Jess, Jacob, and DOA were there. Absolutely. It was so great. I loved it so much. I love seeing them out there. Okay, so there was this Scientology peace officer, Scientology security, being a bit on the kind of like being extra, I guess you could say. He was just being extra. MD Media 18, who we often see in Pasadena, was out there at the Blue Buildings doing some protesting. And this Scientology security, whoever, whatever he was being super extra with just ripping down signs. Check it out.
Don't touch that paper, bud. Don't touch that paper. You're really going to touch that paper? Can I have my paper back? Don't ever rip my paper off again. What's your name? We'll find your name. They said I can walk back and forth. Yeah, the officer told me I can walk back and forth. Shake your head all you want, but the officer told me I can have my paper back and forth. I can walk back and forth. As long as I don't stop. I'll keep moving, but I'll pace these up as I keep moving. Have a great day. Get back to work, my man.
What is up with that? So was that outside security or was that Scientology security? I mean, they're one and the same. But, right? Does anybody know? Did anybody get a look at another stream and find out what the deal was? Yeah. Janet, I heard about that. It was so great to see Aja. So Hollywood Aja, you can find her on TikTok and here on YouTube as well. And her friend deliver food to the homeless. That was beautiful. I caught that when I was scrolling the other day. Okay, so Andrew's saying that looked like outside security. Gemstar saying Scientology security. Could be, it's obviously he's security for Scientology, but there's C organization security and then there's hired security. But yeah, we will have to see. But nonetheless, that guy was just being extra. Now, in the evening hours, Mindy Willens headed over there and was doing a lap around the Blue Buildings, caught some windows open, which is a great time to spread the word that there are 2 foundations out there that can help you leave the Sea Org and leave Scientology. And Mindy does it only how Mindy can do it. Check it out.
The Aftermath Foundation can help you. There are resources available if you want to come out to help you build a new life. 727-266-5797 SBTVFoundation.org. They're more likely to remember if there's a song, even if it's stupid.
It's not stupid. It's smart.
I agree. Not stupid. It's smart. It's catchy. How many of us still remember 8675309? Especially if you're Gen X like myself. We're going to take that phone number to our graves and remember it. It's just like, it's just stuck in the brain. You guys remember that? I know based on analytics that many of you are about my age. So I know you do. Okay, let's talk about, let's go to San Francisco. Ashley Andrews has been out there protesting Scientology, having multiple conversations with Scientologists that she has been sharing here on YouTube, and we've highlighted quite a few of those. She got swatted in front of the San Francisco organization. I want you guys to listen to this video. I'm going to have the volume is turned up as much as it can. Does the officer admit that Scientology made the call? Or she says something along those lines when the female officer starts talking to Ashley. So listen up on this one, because I kept listening to it. I'm like, did she say they knew Scientology made the swatting call? Or was she saying that just could maybe be? I don't know. But let me pull this up. And this is Ashley Andrews in San Francisco.
Y'all pulled up deep on me, man. Huh.
Yeah.
Or today it was there's only me and one other person, and they pulled up on her too, but they were a lot different with her. I guess the call was different.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
All right, well, take care.
Have a good day, guys.
Do us a favor and not loiter around here. We don't want to get any more 911 calls up.
Well, I mean, I'm just doing I have the right to.
For one, okay, The officer says, can you not loiter around here so we don't get any more 911 calls? First off, she's not loitering. She's protesting, and she has a right to be there. She has a right to do a First Amendment audit as well and videotape on a public sidewalk. So way to try and make it like, no, she's just there loitering. Nope, she's there protesting. And you, officer, I don't think you understand that she has a right to do that.
I'm not loitering though. Yeah, but this is public. I can record in public. I can report. They have
You
to
want
be
us
there.
to keep coming out and dealing with you?
I mean, it's them. I didn't call you, man. I didn't call you. I don't want you to come. You're acting like I did this now. You said if I want you to keep coming out here. So it means if I don't, then I don't come back here. That's not right. I know I am, honey. I'm just telling him, as far as he's concerned, that he's wrong. You can't tell me that. I do want to see you keep coming out here.
No, we're just letting you know that they're probably going to keep calling.
I know they are. In LA, they do it all the time.
Yeah. And like,
But they call bomb threats there and guns. And
right.
I just always bragged about San Francisco, like our police are different, you know?
So, Ashley herself jumps in here sometimes. We'll have to ask her. If Ashley's in the chat, you tell me, did she say that it's probably Scientology making the calls? They were kind of talking at the same time, and I couldn't make that out exactly. So let's see. Me and Taz, no, analytics does not tell me that. Yeah, neuropsych, ridiculous, exactly. But I'm trying to see if you guys heard it any more than I did. Yeah, we're going to have to ask. I'm going to have to ask her about that and see what she heard. Hey, Poe on the go. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome. Good to have you here. I have been loving what you guys have been doing, getting together with the Clearwater crew. I saw you did a second video. It's in my queue to watch and check it out. I love that you guys are doing that. It's absolutely a beautiful thing. Let's go visit Jay. Let's go see Jay in Denver right now. He was out there celebrating. His video is called Happy OT 420 because it was 420 yesterday. Check it out. Wait, let me make sure I got it pulled up. Winston Smith. Oh my goodness. Thank you for gifting 50 Scientology Life After Occult memberships. Winston making it rain memberships up in here. Thank you so much. That is so absolutely fabulous. Okay, let's go look at Jay. Let's check this out.
You want to do a little shout out right quick? Okay, here. Guys, this is Sweet Sunslash. So you're going to do a shout out.
Thank you, everybody, for supporting Jay and for supporting me. And I'll be coming back out here more. Sweet Sun Slice, so keep an eye for me.
Awesome. Yeah, shout out to Sweet Sun Slice, guys. She's going to be holding it down here and there while I'm gone. So it was awesome meeting you. I'm so glad we had the chance to meet through all this. And like I said, I'll definitely keep in touch. And I'll let you know when I'm coming back to Denver. Okay. It's going to be at some point.
Yeah. Sure. And you ever want to come to the Springs, we'll do a meetup for sure out there too.
So if you don't know, I don't have all the details, but Jay's going to be doing some traveling. And you guys tell me, because I actually haven't, I need to connect with Jay and catch up and find out what the deal is, what the plan is, or at least what he can share about it. Is he going to be traveling and protesting? Tell me in the chat. And if you're catching this on the replay, jump into those comments and tell me what you think and answer these questions as well. Sweet Sun Slice, Nancy sharing a link to her channel. Sounds like she's going to be there protesting as well. And I cannot wait to see what Jay ends up doing. It's going to be so much fun. And I love that he's traveling around doing it. This is becoming one of my new favorite things, not just traveling myself to protest Scientology. I am loving doing that, truly. But seeing so many other people do it too. Not everybody can do that. But if you are a current point in your life where you can do that, sounds like Jay may be doing this. Danny and Leah are doing it. They went to Clearwater. They're on their way back. We saw them in Baton Rouge the other day. I know they've made other stops. Selfless Self has been all over. He's been to Chicago, Austin, California, other places as well. We see Gypsy Mimi traveling around. It's just, I love it. I think it's so fantastic that people are able to do that. Now let's jump over to Clearwater, where in Clearwater, I saw her, had the pleasure of meeting her when I was there and shared. Erica, you'll see her out there with the amazing shirt tech, sweatshirt tech, sign tech, getting the word out about Scientology. She doesn't stream it on YouTube. She is out there doing it. And she is amazing. She puts in a lot of time. And there's somebody who is streaming. Well, maybe they weren't streaming. They could have just uploaded the video here. Drizzik is the channel name, Taking Back Downtown Clearwater from Scientology. And he sees Erica and stops her and they have a conversation. Let's take a look at this.
Your sign for the camera. Yep, that is the facts. Unfortunately, you're out here every night, like protesting for real. Oh wow, are you on YouTube as well?
I am not. Would you like a squirrel stick? Sure.
I just there was just a squirrel over here actually.
Would you like a squirrel?
I would actually. What is the squirrel like? What is? I'll take this one. Oops, I'm sorry.
Refer to people who aren't Scientologists as squirrels because they're basically a distraction.
That's crazy to dumb them down as like a caricature. Like,
they're blatantly telling you don't talk to anybody.
Wow.
They're not allowed to be on the internet. They're not allowed to, even if they're married, they're not allowed to have conversations with
yo, why? If these are crimes, like that's literally child abuse that's going on. You're saying?
I just love it. Raising awareness, taking Clearwater back. Love that as well. Getting the word out. But yeah, if you're in the Clearwater area, go see Erica. Like I said, she doesn't stream on YouTube, but she is there doing a lot. And she just deserves, like, that girl is a rock star. I agree with you, Kim is Blue. Erica is a rock star. She absolutely is. Yep. Eat more pizza now. Miss Erica is awesome. I agree. I agree completely. Trolling Scientology says, free the squirrels. All right, let's go to Austin because we're going to see Pearl Snappy, who is out there on her bike, had an interaction with an ex-Scientologist that she shared about that was really interesting. Tanya, I'm so glad you got to meet Erica. That's right. And Tanya, I was so happy to be able to meet you. It was so great that you were there. There were many people who came from so many different places. But I thought it was so fun. The people who even did it on their own, I admire that. Traveling by yourself and just going and meeting people. And I thought that just sounded like so much fun. I had fun. I was like, it's funny because people it was so great because they were happy to meet me, but I was happy to meet them. And like, oh my gosh, look, it's Helicopter. I was fangirling myself, meeting the Clearwater crew, I got to meet Surrounded by Scientology, Feral Cheryl, Lori Plays, Spit Clearwater, so many of them, Erica, so many people. It was wonderful. And Lil, that's right. Shout out to Nash Keys. If you were there in Clearwater, stop by. Dueling Piano Bar was a ton of fun. I went inside and hung out for a little bit that night and really enjoyed it. So let's get over to Austin and check in with Pearl Snappy here. Take a little peek at her video.
He showed me like a note on his phone. He was like, I'm a former ex-Sciento. I need help. These people have been ruining my life for 30 years. And so I'm like, okay. So we came over to talk on campus away from them. And so now I have all this information. I feel every time you meet somebody who has been victimized by this cult, they never cease to amaze me. The things that these people do never cease to amaze me. So that was very fortuitous. He was wondering, like if we were not up there because he had sent an email about some stuff, and I did get it, and that wouldn't have stopped me. But now we're gonna figure out how to help this guy.
How great is that? Just so wonderful. People coming together. Ex-Scientologists connecting with protesters. The vast majority of the people out there protesting Scientology right now have never been in Scientology. Never in Scientology, but all in on bringing down the cult. That is for sure. Like many of you here, this is the turning point with all of this, why we're able to raise so much more awareness today because there's so much more interest in it. Thank you guys all for being here and for doing that and help to do that. Yeah, I love Pearl. Yep. That's wild. That's exactly what needs to happen. And then we saw that happen with Sassafras too. When Joan came up to her, it's just to be I don't know if Joan still lives in the area or she was just there, but to be able to connect, I mean, you could hear in her voice how much it means to ex-Scientologists and under the radar Scientologists and Scientologists who are questioning. It makes a difference. It warms their heart. It makes them feel supported. All of these things. Us having fun with it, making fun of Scientology, same thing. They love that because they're not allowed to do it. They're not allowed to do that in Scientology. Me and Taz, 17.9 subscribers. Natalie's almost at 20. Let's get this done, folks. Yes, let's do it. Thanks, me and Taz. Anyways, it's making a difference. It's absolutely making a difference. Okay, let's see here. Let's make sure I did not miss any. Asen, right, you're talking about the event earlier and the Scientology propaganda press release, respect of diversity. Sure, exactly. That's why it's hard to not fall out of my chair when I read some of these Scientology press releases because it's like, Scientology, have you met Scientology? Who do you think you're fooling? Your own members know your stance on many things, okay? So we know. I don't know who you think you're fooling. All right. So Sovereign Brihan, question: are thetans like scabies that get under your skin and itch, and you can suffocate them with nail polish? Asking for a friend. Now, suffocating them with nail polish would be way cheaper than the tens of thousands, maybe even a couple $100,000 it takes to get rid of all of them. But no. And I don't know a lot about scabies, but that sounds gross. That sounds awful. Absolutely awful. Carpar, what does the government consider a religion? Is there an official definition? I don't have an exact answer to that. I know that our Constitution doesn't allow for the government to say, you're a religion. You're a religion. They can grant tax exempt status. And you guys correct me in the chat or tell me in the comments if I have this wrong, but this is my understanding here in the United States. The government cannot say who is a religion and who is not. But like I said, you guys tell me if I got that wrong. Vintage Mama of 3, thank you so much for gifting 5 Scientology Life After I Called memberships. That's so sweet. Oh, you guys are going to make me cry. Thank you so much. I love it because then, people in the chat, and even if they're not here, I don't know how it works, but YouTube sends those memberships out, and even people who aren't here can get them, even if you aren't in the chat. It's just fascinating the way that it works. So some people might be surprised. Hopefully they'll get the membership and they're an actual fan of the channel. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Nancy, I don't have a pic pulled up for that, but we did it yesterday and I put it in the community tab. She was giving me a reminder about some merch photos I wanted to share, but I put it in the community tab on the channel and Nancy will share a link for that as well. Now, as we wrap up here, let's try this way. Let's go to Sptv.space and so how we were looking at that website, right? Where it shows you, hold on, I'm going to pull it up here. It shows us, boom, we can see right here. And it looks like Denver Scientology Audit. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'll just use live. It looks like Jay is.
So 25 names. Well, maybe there's 25 names that we're going to be listing. So maybe.
So Jay is there and live right now over at Denver Scientology Audit. Nancy, can you share a link in the chat to Denver Scientology Audit? Let's go raid. Now, I keep telling you I am going to be back for another video and then I keep not doing it. I think I am going to be able to do it. So for now, you all go get over there and raid Jade and tell him that we sent you over and show him lots of love. Maybe we can find out what the deal is with where he's going with the traveling and all that. I want to find out about that. So when you make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, set the notification bell, because I do want to do another video today, and I actually might do it right away. I just have to go check in on with my Tony on something. And if everything's fine, I'm going to come on and just do it right away. Because if I don't, I'm not going to do it later. So keep an eye out for that. And if I don't do it, you know I'll do it eventually. But I think I'm going to be able to do it right now. I just need to check in. So head over there right now. Go check out Denver Scientology Audit. Keep an eye out for notification. We'll see. I think I'll be able to go live. And do not forget to everybody get out there today and have the most amazing cult-free day.